Okay, next we have Puan Yasmin from HR. She's stepping in for Mr. Mohan.
Hi, yes, thank you. Let me just, what happened? Start again? Is it okay if I proceed?
Yes, Puan Yasmin, you can proceed.
Today I will be presenting on behalf of Mr. Mohan regarding the FWA that we implemented since March 2020. This is the basic layout of my report presentation today. I will start off with a simple explanation of what FWA is and what it means to our company. Second of all, I will highlight the problems that we have to deal with. Thirdly, the solution that we've come up with. And finally, response, recommendations, and challenges that came about when we first implemented FWA. FWA is nothing new to us. In fact, it has long been implemented ever since Digitalis Media Company was established in 2015. What started off as just 2 people with great visions, now it has housed over 30 staffs over this 5-6 years. COVID-19 came to Malaysia sometime in January 2020, and I think everyone at that time was unsure of how the disease could impact the lives and also the economy of the country. So on 18th March, that was when MCO was first implemented. So that was our first problem regarding MCO and us, Digitalis Media Company, being categorized as non-essential services. The second problem that we have is us having sandwich generations working in our company. Let me just draw your attention to the demographic profile of the employees that we have in our company. Out of the 30 staff, we have 12 females and 18 male workers, each coming from a range of age groups, which we will see in the next slide. And to the column chart that we have there, where it shows the range of age groups that we have in our company. Believe it or not, 100% of our employees or staff working are coming from the sandwich generation, right?
Puan Yasmin,
And
that lonely person above 41 years old, I suppose that is our CEO, Tuan Daniel.
yes, I believe so. Tuan Daniel would be the one in that 41 years old and above age group. Now, moving on, this is the distribution of staff that we have at the moment. We are made of the top level managers like yourself, the middle level managers, Miss Cecilia is our secretary, and Mr. Mohan and myself in the HR department. We have 6 execution teams, and each team is made up of 4 people with their own respective leaders. And we have one very useful runner, Mr. Adit, who does all the mailing and miscellaneous jobs around the company. Before MCO, Digitalis Media Company, as mentioned, has already adopted the FWA. The way we implemented it was such that we did it by a 4/10 hours, meaning we come to the office 4 times a week, and for that day we'd be working for about 10 hours. We grant 2 months maternity leave, 7 days paternity leave, and then we gave flexibility of 2 days maximum per month for those choosing to work from home. Now, we also outsource certain services of the company. So what happens after MCO? How do we improvise the current FWA that we have now? 100% staff on improvised FWA, but at the expense of revoking the 2 days per month maximum of working at home, and also that 4/10 hours. We are focusing more on trust-based work, TBW, which I will also explain better much later. We enlisted the help of Talent Corp. Talent Corp is a national agency under the Ministry of Human Resources, with the aim of wanting to sustain for the next 6 months. So Talent Corp has been very helpful. They have invited us to attend webinars where they share information on how to implement FWA effectively in times of COVID-19 without, jeopardizing the future of the company. As we were doing that, we also distributed, kind of like did a mini survey among the employees of what sort of issues they might anticipate with the idea of an improvised flexible work arrangement, FWA. And these are what they come with. They were concerned about whether they can still work here in Digitalis Media, whether the COVID-19 will affect their pay. There were concerns about having to take care of their family members, meeting deadlines for projects that have started before COVID-19. And they were also worried about whether they would get sick and ill from contracting the disease themselves. Now, from the management point of view, from the management perspective, there were also concerns of whether could sustain for this next 6 months afterward if we were to adopt an improvised FWA, and whether it will affect the productivity and the quality of work given by the employees. As I've said before, we are heading towards a trust-based work where it is more important to assess based on output rather than time put into it. So instead of saying, okay, I want the team to be here, work together for the next 4 hours and do this project and complete this project, we are heading towards, hey, Mr. Shafiq, we need to get this and this done by next Wednesday. And regardless how they choose to divide their time and manage their lives, at the end of the day, what the company is looking for is that output, the project itself. So how did we implement this improvised FWA? It started in March with phase 1, where everybody technically just stayed at home because we have no idea how things are going to work out. But HR did conduct a Zoom meeting with employees, explaining to them, allaying their anxiety that they will not undergo a pay cut. They will not be forced to take annual leave. And then it moved on to phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4, where we had different goals to achieve during these different phases. So what is that we saw happening with this thing? One is being, how do we define key performance indicators? What do we have to give? What do we have to take? How do we assess employees? Is it purely based on quantitative assessment, qualitative assessment? Or do we do a 360-degree feedback method where your friends would give an assessment to you, although we don't meet each other physically? Or are we okay with self-evaluation and conduct our assessments from there? There's also this anxiety of thinking what our future will be, whether we would have a good growth, whether we need to outsource maybe the HR department in the future, or is it the type of work where we'd be collaborating more with other digital companies, media companies, so we could all survive this pandemic together.
At the end of the day, communication is key, and HR has identified 3 main aspects that we need to pay attention to. One is that we have established a proper line of authority, a proper chain of command, so that staff know who reports to whom, who supervises their work and stuff. Secondly, in terms of meeting and discussions, we have given the authority to team leaders to conduct their own meetings with their team, but at the same time, they are obligated to report their progress to both top and middle managers at least once a fortnight. Staff enjoyed the monthly meeting with both you, Tuan Daniel, and Mr. Martin. They feel motivated, appreciated, not abandoned, especially when they knew that they could consult any one of us between 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. We also asked feedback from our previous clients. So far, they are quite happy with both online and offline consultations. Of course, this is an aspect that we need to look into throughout this pandemic and in the future.
We asked roughly feedback from the staff. So basically, the feedback that we received from employees so far are very positive. They really enjoyed, Adit is being cheeky as well here. He's saying, please keep me. And then, but then there are those who miss coming into work and seeing everybody. We have quite a few, if I may say, about 70 to 80% who are saying that they are motivated to ride through this rough waves with us, with management. And considering that will there be any annual bonuses? So that's roughly my report on FWA for the past year. I'm wondering if you have any questions so far.
Right, thank you, Puan Yasmin. That was a very insightful presentation. I don't really have any questions. Perhaps our COO, Mr. Martin, have any questions for Puan Yasmin?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a nice day.